What's going on, upcyclers? Everybody's favorite kind of video today. It is a grading card reveal. We have a 3-card order that I just got back from PSA. Now, I have pre-opened the box to save a little bit of time. And full disclosure, I did accidentally see these grades. It was the first time I'd gotten something back that I'd subbed directly with PSA. And what happened was I was getting notifications on shipping. So I went in to look at that. And when I pulled the page up, there were the grades right on the page. So if you've read the title, you probably already have a bit of an idea how this is going to go. Not great. Not great at all. So, yes, I hope my pain is your entertainment. So here we go. Let the destruction begin. Well, okay, that might be a bit over dramatic. So, 2 of these cards are ones that I cracked and resubbed. This is one that I cracked out of a CSG holder. I've got a 67 Mickey Mantle. There was a CSG 5. And I also have, hopefully you can see that, a Topps Update Gold Juan Soto. Now, I'll tell you what my thinking was. This was the old label CSG, which was also a bit of a harder grading standard back in then. They've kind of eased up a little bit when they moved to the new holder. So, my thought was, it's probably at worst going to come back a 5 from PSA, which is already going to give it a small bump in value. Then just coincidentally, because of the stuff at the National with that 52 mantle, the whole mantle market has gone up a little bit. So even if it was a 5 while it was gone, you know, I was still probably going to profit a little bit. If I end up wanting to sell it, I haven't even decided if I'm going to keep it in my PC or sell it yet. And if it got a 6 or something, or a 6.5, there could be a pretty nice bump up in value there, you know, with these vintage stuff, particularly the higher end vintage stuff. You know, a half a grade between a 5 and a 5.5, a 7 and a 7.5, whatever, can make a pretty significant difference in the price. So those were those 2. And then the other one was definitely a PC card. We'll look at that one first. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just put those up here, get them out the way. All right. This, you should probably recognize already. This is a 1990 score Bo Jackson. It's the famous image where he's got the black and white photo where he's got the shoulder pads and the baseball bat here. That one. We all know this one, right? Famous card. Now, I just happened to stumble upon a really good deal on a sealed set of 90 score. I paid like $10 for it. And it was sealed. And I figured I would, at a minimum, pull this card out of there and sub it. Because just for my PC, I've always wanted this card, you know, and I wanted it in a 10. Let's be fair. And, you know, I figured certainly wouldn't be damaged because it was in a sealed factory set. I found it. It looked perfectly centered to me. I mean, I guess maybe ever so slightly high, but certainly within the PSA 60/40. The corners are perfect. The edges are perfect. There's no marks. There's no print lines. There's no creases. This is a mint gem card. I said, all right, let's do it. Set it at the $30 level, figuring if it came back at 10, these are, I haven't looked lately, but these are somewhere in the $250 range. I'm like, great, I'll save myself some bucks, add it to the collection. Then I saw the grade. A 6. I'm sorry. That is not a 6. It's just not. I don't know what our friends over at PSA are smoking, but that's just not a 6. Plain and simple. I mean, if there is some minuscule damage that I'm not seeing, fine. maybe it's a 9. If you're a really hard grader, an 8. Just as a point of comparison, we'll look at the Mickey Mantle. This Mickey Mantle is properly off center. You can see damage, not humongous damage, but damage on all 4 corners, right? It's off on the back. You can see damage on the corners on the back. There is what looks like a tiny mark there, which you probably are not, the camera's probably not picking up, but there is a teeny tiny mark just below his right ear there. So this is what I expect a 5 or a 6 to look like. Remember, CSG 5, PSA 5. Yeah. But to tell me that these two cards are 1 grade apart, I'm sorry. That's just not right. I genuinely think they messed up on this card. And I'm torn about, I'm definitely going to crack it out of there because it's worthless in that holder. However, I'm debating just cracking it out of there, keeping it, cutting my losses, or possibly resubbing it back in and seeing what happens. I'd be curious. It'd be funny if I sent it back in and it came back with like a 9 or a 10. That wouldn't altogether surprise me. I don't know if I want to give them an extra $30 on top of the $30 I already paid them to grade it correctly. I feel like there really should be some process for, appealing something. I don't know. If you send it back in to get redone and they agree with you and it changes by more than like 1 grade, then you don't pay for it or something. I don't know. But anyway, off my rant. The last card, I will explain my thinking as well. I found a good deal on this guy. I actually bought it with the intent of flipping it. And during the time that it was being graded, the Padres traded for Juan Soto. So now it has become a PC card. But it was originally in a BGS 9. And not just a BGS 9, but a very strong BGS 9. In fact, a half a point away on one of the subgrades from being a BGS 9.5, which is Gem Mint, which can, as you know, often cross over and should theoretically be the equivalent of a PSA 10. So I was thinking, okay, well, sub this one back in. Worst case, it gets a 9 because the equivalent PSA grade to this would be like a 9.5, which doesn't exist, but if they had one, that's what it would be. And, it basically seemed like to me it was like a 50-50 shot whether it was going to get a PSA 9 or a PSA 10. So I sent it back in, figuring if it got a 9, it would increase the value a little bit. And if it got a 10, it would increase the value by several thousand. Now, it's a little bit less relevant now. Like I said, it's a PC card. However, probably the same guy that graded this card, and he decided it's an 8. The only thing I can see on it, which I'm fairly certain was there before I sent it, was the ever so slightest white tick if you really get up and look close in that one corner. Other than that, as far as I can tell, centering looks good. There's no scratches or surface marks or print defects. The edges are clean. The centering looks perfect on the back. So yeah. That's the reveal. That's where I'm at. I would genuinely love to know your opinions. I know everybody's got a horror story of, grading they felt had gone wrong. And, I certainly understand that people at grading companies are humans and they make mistakes. But I just wish there was some kind of process or channel for resolving those issues after the fact, because I really feel like that should be a 9. And to be honest, I probably will crack and resub that. I just haven't decided if I'm going to crack and resub it to PSA or not. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that one yet. This is fine. And this one obviously needs to get cracked and figured out, because I don't get it. Anyway, I hope this was educational for you, and I hope you otherwise have a great day. And, if you enjoy this kind of content, do look at my other videos, subscribe, check me out on Instagram, and, yeah, have a great day and take care of yourselves. Thank you.